We can sometimes be an attractive target for people who want to try to influence the population, and this also affects our unity. So Singapore has passed the Foreign Interference and Countermeasures Act, and in fact, we designated the first person as a politically significant person already. So I'm wondering, maybe you can elaborate more about your views on these measures, and also what does it really mean to be a politically significant person?
That we are open is more so now, but to some extent has always been so for quite a long time because we're so small. That there are people outside who want to influence us, sometimes for the better, sometimes for their own purposes, is also not a new thing. We have known black operations for a long time in Singapore. In the 1960s, 1970s, some were in the newspapers, meaning not reported in the newspapers, but operating in the newspapers. And Eastern Sun, Singapore Herald, Chinese newspapers had their own cases too. So black ops are by foreign players, and some of them use political individuals, people in opposition politicians in Singapore to spout their messages and to try and influence Singaporeans in those days. So that there are outside powers or actors wanting to influence us is nothing new. But what is new is that they are now on our doorstep and in our bedroom because of the internet, because of social media, because of Singaporeans traveling, and that now also because of AI is so much easier to generate stuff and to persuade people or mislead people. So what do we do? And we've passed this Foreign Interference Countermeasures Act, FICA, as one of the ways which we are dealing with hostile foreign influence operations and also operations to use individuals and organizations here for their purposes. So what's the difference? Hostile influence operation means you get all kinds of messages on the social media. Looks like it's viral, but actually it's the same virus which has been distributed into 1,000 different monikers. But hostile influence of persons is really, I use you, and then you have been either willingly or for some reason are willing to speak up and to speak on behalf of the foreign actor. And the organization is willing to speak or act on behalf of the foreign actor and participate in politics and thereby influence what's happening in the country. And I think that's improper, that's dangerous, and that's also not hard to do. So what do we do about it? And what FICA has done about it is to say, I will call you a politically significant person, PSP. It's not a political party's name, it's a politically significant person. What does it mean? It means you either have a nexus to Singapore politics, I mean you're politically active or you're supporting some political party, or you have a nexus to some foreign actor. So if you have a nexus to some foreign actor, you may not be politically active, but you could become politically active and become a player in a problem. If you are a political actor, but you don't have a foreign nexus, you're not a threat, but at some point, some foreign actor may decide to make friends with you, and then you may become vulnerable and a threat. So what do I want to do by declaring you a politically significant person? I want you to declare every year, these are my foreign connections, these are my foreign sources of money. What does that achieve? First, everybody will know you are a PSP. I think that's helpful. So when you come, they will know that this is somebody politically significant. He's not just an innocent third-party advocate who believes deeply in what he says and is putting that view forth. But possibly you must know what his connections are. Secondly, it makes it harder for somebody, some foreign actor, to influence him, because if you put him onto your distinguished advisory committee, he has to declare it, and that diminishes his value to you. Thirdly, if he doesn't have any connections, it enables him to declare and see, I don't have any connections, you can trust me, I am a politically significant person. But I am not doing anything wrong. So in that way, we manage the problem. So who are PSPs? I'm a PSP because I'm the PM, and therefore nexus to Singapore politics, quite clear. My ministers are PSPs. My MPs are PSPs. The opposition MPs, even the NMPs, they are also PSPs, automatically, not designated, but they are also PSPs. The People's Action Party, as a party, that is a PSP too, because the party can be subverted. And every year the party has to declare, I'm not receiving foreign money, I don't have foreign connections. And if you declare falsely, then of course many consequences will follow. So that is the reason why we have a mechanism to declare, to define PSPs, to declare somebody to be a PSP, and therefore try and keep our system safer. So being declared a PSP doesn't mean necessarily that you have done anything wrong. It's just to put everybody on notice that you have either a foreign nexus or you're politically active.
Is there a difference between being gazetted a PSP and being declared a PSP? Or?
No. The ministers, the PM and so on, we don't have to be gazetted or declared. Gazetting and declaring are the same thing. The ministers and so on, we are PSPs automatically. Because you're occupying that position, you are a PSP. I think the PAP as a party, likewise, you are a party, you are a political party, you are by definition politically sensitive. If you are another organization, you could be a trade union, for example, you could be politically active because you can support one party or another. You are entitled to. But you are not automatically declared under the law to be a PSP. You could be gazetted. So gazetting makes you a PSP. Once you are one, it doesn't matter how you became one.
So does that mean then that the PAP and the other political parties would then have to declare their links or connections every year under this law?
And every MP and every minister. And we have to do that from now onwards.
What about all these, there are a lot of businessmen maybe who have dealings with China and all that, and maybe for their own economic interests, they are always pushing for certain things and, certain actions to be taken. Would that put them in danger of becoming PSPs because they will surely have links?
Well, you have to, that will be a matter of judgment and a decision which MHA will have to make. Not everybody who does business in China is of interest. Not everybody who speaks well of a foreign country is necessarily a foreign agent or is likely to be a foreign agent or is likely to have influence. So to be a PSP, you have to cross a certain threshold that you are likely to matter, and therefore we will do something about it.
Do you foresee more people being gazetted?
I do not know.